No one will ever be truly able to love you until you understand what it really means to love yourself. This is a truth that many spend their entire lives ignoring, imprisoned in cycles of emotional dependency, insecurity, and submission. The love you receive from the world will never surpass the love you have for yourself. As long as you seek in others the validation you cannot find within yourself, every relationship will be marked by fear, neediness, and suffering. But when you finally grasp your own worth, everything changes. You stop begging for crumbs and begin demanding presents. You cease to settle for less and start attracting what you truly deserve. Today you will discover why no one can genuinely love you until you understand this. And if you are ready for that transformation, comment below, "I choose to love myself first." Throughout history, many thinkers have tried to comprehend the essence of love and human relationships, yet few have come as close to the truth as Jacobo Grinberg. This revolutionary neuroscientist dedicated his life to the study of consciousness and proved that the reality we live in is directly shaped by what we carry within us. In other words, the kind of love we receive is not a coincidence, but a reflection of our own inner state. Neuroscience confirms this as well. Studies on neuroplasticity show that our beliefs and emotions determine how we perceive the world and connect with others. If you believe that you are not worthy of love, that belief manifests itself through toxic relationships, abandonment, and frustration. However, when you change your mindset and strengthen your self-love, everything around you reconfigures itself. This means that before expecting to be loved, you must learn to love yourself. Only when you become whole can someone truly love you. Not out of need, but by genuine choice. Let us now delve deeper to understand how emotional dependency can destroy any chance of true love. Emotional dependency is one of the greatest saboteurs of genuine love. When you depend on another to feel complete, loved, or validated, you are not experiencing a healthy relationship. You are merely trying to fill an inner void that only you can fill. Many people confuse dependency with love. They believe that feeling the fear of losing someone, constantly needing attention, or living solely for another are signs of a deep bond. In reality, these are merely reflections of insecurity and fear of loneliness. The greatest problem with emotional dependency is that it places the power over your happiness entirely in the hands of someone else. Dependency creates a vicious cycle. The more you cling, the more you fear losing them. The more fear you feel, the more you try to control. And the more you try to control, the more you suffocate the other, leading to strain, frustration, and often eventual distancing. A love born out of need will never be true, for it is not free. It is a love burdened by demands, expectations, and unrealistic standards. The origin of emotional dependency usually stems from childhood. If you grew up without experiencing unconditional love, without being valued, or were taught that you needed to earn affection, you likely internalize the idea that love always comes with suffering or sacrifice. As a result, you might end up accepting relationships where you must erase your own identity to be loved, believing deep down that this is the only way to keep someone by your side. The problem is, when you do not feel whole on your own, any relationship becomes a desperate attempt to find in another what you lack. This creates a dynamic where you become emotionally submissive, constantly seeking approval, accepting less than you deserve, and clinging to people who are not always capable of offering you healthy love. Here is the harsh truth. No one respects someone who does not respect themselves. If you do not set boundaries, value yourself, and love yourself first, no one else will do it for you. Emotional dependency not only weakens your self-esteem, but also destroys any chance of experiencing a true, balanced love. The only solution is to learn to be complete on your own. Only when you feel whole can you engage in relationships without fear, without the need to control, and without settling for less than you deserve. True love emerges when two whole individuals choose to be together, not because they need each other, but because they wish to share their lives in a healthy, mutually enriching way. The love you receive from the world is a direct reflection of the love you hold for yourself. No relationship can be truly healthy if you do not see yourself as someone worthy of respect, affection, and admiration. That is why self-care and personal development are essential for attracting and maintaining balanced and genuine love. When we talk about self-care, it is not only about physical maintenance, such as keeping a good appearance, exercising, or watching your diet. While these are important, true self-care goes much further. It concerns how you treat yourself internally. How are your thoughts? Do you value yourself? Do you respect your own limits? Do you offer yourself the care and patience that you expect from others? Many people enter relationships hoping that another will complete them, but that expectation is dangerous. No one can fill the void that exists within you. If you do not feel complete on your own, you will project that need onto the relationship, becoming dependent and insecure. This not only wears down the relationship, but also weakens your identity. On the other hand, personal development is key to growing within a relationship while preserving your individuality. Healthy relationships are not made of two halves, but of two whole beings who choose each other every day. This means continuing to invest in yourself, studying, evolving, and striving to be the best version of who you can be. On a spiritual level, self-care and personal development also play a crucial role. In various religious traditions, the idea prevails that before loving someone, you must love yourself. Even in the Bible, there is the teaching, "Love your neighbor as yourself," Mark 12:31, reminding us that how we treat others is directly linked to how we treat ourselves. Without self-love, you cannot offer true love. Furthermore, when you take care of yourself, your energy changes. You begin to attract people who value and respect your space because they recognize that you value yourself first. Your vibrational standard rises, and the quality of your relationships improves. Self-care is not just a matter of well-being, it is a signal to the universe that you are ready to receive love that truly matters. So before seeking great love, ask yourself, am I already that great love for myself? If the answer is no, then now is the time to begin that journey. Because only when you learn to treat yourself with the love and respect you desire, will life respond by bringing a relationship that reflects who you have become. One of the greatest illusions leading to suffering in relationships is the belief that we can control the feelings and actions of another. Many people spend their lives trying to change, convince, or hold on to someone who is not truly committed to them. The simple truth is that you only have control over yourself. By its very nature, love must be free. Any attempt to manipulate or force a feeling inevitably leads to strain. You may give your best, show affection, care deeply, and do everything right, and still not receive the love you desire. This happens because love does not operate under rules of control. A profound spiritual lesson emerges here. True love is not about possession, but a daily choice. God created us with free will, which means each person has the right to love or not love, to stay or to leave. If even God allows people to choose whether or not to follow him, why would you think you can force someone to love you? Problems arise when, out of fear of rejection or abandonment, we try to hold on to someone at all costs. This manifests in various forms: excessive jealousy, controlling the other's actions, constantly trying to please, and even nullifying your own identity to avoid conflict. But all these actions only drive the other person further away, as they suffocate the freedom that every human being naturally desires. The solution is not to change the other, but to change yourself. When you strengthen yourself emotionally, you learn to love without the need to imprison. You come to understand that if someone wants to be by your side, they will be there out of their own will, not out of fear, obligation, or convenience. When you accept this truth, a tremendous weight lifts from your shoulders. You realize that you do not need to despair in order to be loved, because the right love will never have to be forced. You free yourself from the constant need to please, understanding that those who truly care for you will accept you just as you are. On a spiritual level, this carries profound meaning as well. God never forces anyone to love him. Instead, he welcomes those who come by free choice. The same should be true in relationships. The strongest love is not imposed, but naturally won through respect, admiration, and reciprocity. Thus, rather than expending energy trying to hold on to someone who does not wish to stay, redirect that energy into becoming a person who naturally inspires love and respect. When you let go of control and focus on your own evolution, you attract people who genuinely desire to be by your side, not because they need to, but because they choose to. True love goes beyond physical attraction or emotional compatibility. It encompasses a spiritual dimension. When we understand that love is a divine force and that our relationships are reflections of our connection to something greater, we begin to see love in a deeper and wiser light. Throughout history, spiritual traditions have always regarded love as sacred. From Eastern philosophies to ancient cultures, love was not seen merely as a feeling, but as an energy that unites two souls with a greater purpose. This perspective teaches us that a relationship should not simply be a meeting of desires, but a union that strengthens and elevates both individuals. When we cultivate this perspective, we start to seek relationships with more meaning. Instead of looking for someone merely to fill an inner void, we search for a genuine connection based on values, growth, and harmony. Spiritual love is not just about feeling, it is about understanding, respecting, and being willing to evolve together. Spirituality and love also teaches us about balance. In a world where many relationships crumble due to pride, ego, and impulsiveness, a connection with something greater reminds us that love requires humility and patience. When we view love as a path of learning, challenges become opportunities for growth rather than obstacles. Moreover, understanding love from a spiritual perspective protects us from superficial or destructive relationships. Many people enter relationships solely out of need or fear of loneliness, without considering whether that connection truly makes sense in their lives. However, with a solid spiritual foundation, you are less likely to be swept away by fleeting emotions or momentary impulses. You learn to choose wisely, knowing that true love should bring peace, not suffering. Another essential point is that spiritual love teaches us to trust the flow of life. Instead of acting out of fear of losing someone or anxiety over finding the right person, you allow yourself to live in the present with serenity. If a relationship is meant to be, it will grow naturally. If not, you will have the clarity to move on without unnecessary suffering. True love is not just an encounter between two people, but a shared journey. When you connect on a spiritual level, you begin to attract relationships that reflect that energy, a love based on respect, purpose, and mutual growth.